What was the worst advice you have ever received? Invest in DVDs because you can pawn them for cash when you need money. It works. In the early 2000s, I had about 50 DVDs I purchased for an average of $15 each. 10 years later, my wife and I had a yard sale. I was able to get rid of all of them for about $20 total. All you have to do is prove to the woman that you are better than the man she is with, and she will come running. From a former manager who had 7 girlfriends, and a wife who stabbed him when she learned about the girlfriends. Lawyer said I should just admit that I did it. I denied it, and the case was dismissed. Did you do it? No. But if I did, this is how I would do it. My grandmother told me that if I wanted to stop being poor, I should find a job in logistics or warehousing. I was literally managing a warehouse at the time. Not me, but I remember reading a thread about a man who told his girlfriend every day that she stinks. She washed 2 or 3 times daily, tried everything she could to get rid of this smell, until she cracked and started screaming at him, asking what the fuck was he smelling. Apparently his father told him, "Tell a woman she smells every day and she'll be constantly clean." He just took that as normal good advice to live by. Just ignore your bully. Okay, I did as you advised, and they stabbed my hand with a pencil to get my attention. Just calmly walk away. Okay, they followed me down the hall, taunting me and smacking my head the entire time. Then at the end they kicked my knees and made me collapse, before they walked away laughing. My mum always said to ignore them if possible. And if that doesn't work, hit they as hard as you possibly can. Even if they kick the shit out of you, they will think twice before they try it again. Got my ass kicked and suspended. But the bullying stopped. Worst advice received and acted upon. My friend out of high school got a job at Ford starting at $28 hour full-time and in the UAW. His mom said he shouldn't waste his life working at a factory and go to college despite him having a 1.8 GPA in high school and very good with working with his hands. He quit, took 2 classes at college and dropped out. He spent the next 8 years making pizza because the job market was trash. What is he doing now? Trying to get into a trade but not putting much effort into it. Working odd jobs here and there. He committed some crimes over the years and is in his late 30s now. I guess at least he doesn't have some dead-end factory job. In my early 20s, my stepdad encouraged us equals me, sister and brother, to max out our credit cards. Then file bankruptcy. My sister did it. My brother did it. I didn't. He insulted me for years for being stupid. Put some butter on it. My father to me directly after getting a 3rd-degree burn on my arm, cooking accident. You put some butter on it, a little garlic and then mozzarella, and you got a decent side. Throw it in a pot, add some broth, a potato. Baby, you've got a stew going. Was told by a sailor of 5 decades that the best way to get rid of a sunburn is to take the hottest shower possible. Not only did that cause immeasurable pain, but didn't help in the slightest. To file for bankruptcy over a $2,500 car loan. Show your employer loyalty and they will be loyal to you. Good things come to those who wait. Not good things come to those who go out and take them. From my father, don't go to the doctor's office if you only have one problem. Wait until you have 4 or 5, that's how you get the most bang for your buck. Replace all your office computers with Macs, then you don't need to set up network drives because you can use iCloud instead. Don't worry about industry-specific software we pay a lot of money for, there'll be something in the App Store you can replace it with. As a temporary measure, it's okay to insert a copper penny into a screw-in fuse box circuit until replacement fuses can be obtained. That dangerous advice almost caused a house fire due to an overheating circuit. You should use a 22 bullet, that way you can hear when it pops. Don't take IT engineering cause it's saturated. Don't study computer science, all the programming will be done in India in 5 years. Literally everyone in my family in 2006. They pushed me hard for accounting, but I found a compromise in an IT degree, information systems. I found my way back to software development quickly though. It's not as bad now, but in 2010 you'd get your resume thrown in the trash at a lot of places if you applied to a programming job without a CS or engineering degree. It's too late for you to learn to code. I was 14. If you run out of dishwasher detergent, just substitute it with regular dish soap. A big mistake that will only be made once. It's almost good advice if you also need to mop your floor, but would rather shovel bubbles instead of actually mopping. To keep my mouth shut. Never argue or talk back to my partner. Just tell them that millennials divorce less than boomers. Lower marriage rate too, because we don't want to go through the divorce shit show our parents went through. Go to college and get a degree, any degree. Doesn't matter what it is, they'll hire you with a bachelor's degree and no experience. If you don't have a college degree, you're going to be flipping burgers at McDonald's and living under a bridge for the rest of your life. And you are not going to a trade school. Trade schools are for stupid people. My parents, teachers, and guidance counselors in the 90s. Just find a girl you don't like. Once you get married, you'll just hate her anyways. God, I hope he was joking. Everyone I know who's been married more than 10 years has moments when you can't stand your spouse, especially if you have kids. Because let's face it, it's hard to live with other people for a long period of time. And kids will raise the stakes on everything and drag out every bit of how you were raised that your spouse wasn't. But you're in it for all times when it's not like that, which should be most of the time. Enjoy your life when you're in school, it's going downhill from there. Don't ever say that to a depressed teenager. As an adult, my life is so much better. I never understood how people could think school was enjoyable. I hated high school then, and my feelings haven't changed 20 plus years later. Making money and having choices is so much better. When I went to university, I could choose between two majors, engineering or language. Being an Asian kid, most of my family, friends, relatives, and even teachers recommended engineering. Because it's a men's job, translator or interpreter are for girls. So I let myself be convinced and picked engineering, although I sucked at maths. Fast forward 8 years now, I'm a low-level worker at a manufacturing plant because I dropped out of uni not being able to keep up with the stress. The irony is that my main job now is to translate email and document from my boss who could barely speak English. I really wanted to major in Spanish but was discouraged because, what will you do with Spanish? Turns out knowing the second most spoken language in the US will indeed get you jobs because all the other parts of a job are on-the-job training. At 24, while making $12 an hour and renting an apartment, my parents convinced me to buy a brand new Honda Accord. They assured me it was the only way to get a new car and that used ones broke down immediately. The payments were one entire paycheck of the two I got every month. Just get a degree. It doesn't matter which one. $40,000 and one in used degree later. Business 101 Professor W. Multiple PhDs gave great advice. Don't follow your passion. Get a degree that will get you the money to follow your passion. I love anthropology, and thanks to my degrees in physics and business, I get to go all around the world on dig sites and explore. Winners never quit. I think that is horrible advice. Calculated quitting is how you progress in life. If I never quit, I would be stuck in bad situations. Me, I'm depressed and struggling with low sex drive. Therapist, haha, I have the opposite problem. But have you tried watching a rom-com? They always gets me in the mood. This is a direct quote. Take care of everyone else's needs before your own, that way you're never being selfish. I find that to be a very manipulative form of advice. I take care of myself first, then everyone else. On Twitter, find yourself a man who will email you when you block him. Don't study computer programming. The market is probably going to be saturated by the time you graduate. From a computer science professor in the mid-80s. I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. Thomas Watson, president of IBM, 1943. Needed to give my newborn baby some water. My mother, don't give him sips of plain water, he won't like the taste. Give him cordial or plain old Ribena. Suddenly all the root canals and cavities I'd had made sense. You shouldn't be giving a newborn anything but milk or formula. Unless in very specific cases of dehydration, in which case a doctor should be involved. Family over friends, because friends won't always be there for you, family will. Fat load of crap that was. If someone is starving to death, don't give them any food, or you will be interfering with God's will. What was the worst advice you have ever received? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.